Just when you thought it was all over, they always come back for more. Nothing truly stays dead forever. The witching hour is upon us, and time is running out. It's a race against the clock and against the undead. This is the Venom month of horrors for Corona Fever.
Terrible things will happen if you continue these reviews.
You know when you told me that 9 years ago? I didn't think you were telling the truth.
Rob, you must be pretty psyched that you've hit 200 of the 1001.
We've done 200 of these. We had a good run.
What do you mean?
It's been a long road, hasn't it?
Yeah?
Just me and you now, Chandler. Surprised you didn't die like the rest of them.
Well, I can't die. I'm Chandler Canterbury. Idiot.
Well, let's finish this.
Hey, Rob Bohr.
Ernie Hudson?
Hi, this is Ernie Hudson, Winston Zedmore from Ghostbusters. As you can see, I'm wearing my Winston Zedmore jumpsuit from the movie. Just finished busting some ghosts. Want to give you a shout out and wish you good luck on your YouTube project. I'm sure it's going to be very, very interesting, and especially during these COVID-19 times, I'm really happy that you're staying creative and you're staying busy. That means a lot to not just you, but to a lot of people who are a little down about what's going on right now. But as we say in Ghostbusters, the skies didn't fall, the seas didn't boil. It's not Judgment Day. Or maybe it's Judgment Day, I don't know. But just know that this too shall pass. So I'm happy for you, and I'm happy things are going well. To borrow from Ghostbusters, don't cross the streams because that could be bad. And watch out for all the Slimers, the Zoos, and the big Twinkies who try to discourage you. Don't let them. Rob, you definitely have the tools and you have the talent. And, more importantly, you got me backing you up, man. I wish I could celebrate with you in person, but just know that I'm sending you lots of encouragement and spirit. Take good care, and Rob, always keep on busting. Take care.
Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters tells the story of Peter Venkman, played by Bill Murray, Ray Stantz, played by Dan Aykroyd, and Egon Spengler, played by Harold Ramis. They are all scientists investigating the paranormal. Venkman, however, is a bit of a skeptic until he discovers the truth. The trio soon become a success fighting the paranormal and gaining quite a big name for themselves, with Winston joining the team, played by Ernie Hudson, and Janine as the secretary, played by Annie Potts. Meanwhile, Dana, played by Sigourney Weaver, seeks their help after some paranormal happenings in her apartment, while she's being pestered by her neighbour Rick Moranis. But things don't look too good for the team as some paranormal occurrences begin to rise and turn out to be a lot more than what they had bargained for.
It's technical.
Actor Dan Aykroyd was always fascinated with the belief in the paranormal, which he got from his father as well as his mother, who had both claimed to have seen ghosts before.
There's a special name for people that have seen ghosts. Schizophrenic.
His grandfather also had previously used radios to contact the dead, and his great-grandfather was a renowned spiritualist. It was in 1981 when he read up on quantum physics, which gave him the now iconic idea of trapping the poltergeists. He also wanted to pay homage to the comedic ghost films of the mid-1900s, like Abbott and Costello. He began to write a script, intending to star in it himself alongside Eddie Murphy and John Belushi, but the latter would sadly pass away in March of 1982. Aykroyd claims he was literally writing a specific line for him when he was informed of the news. They were like brothers, and it deeply affected him.
I blame myself. So do I.
It was then when he turned to Bill Murray, who he starred alongside with on Saturday Night Live, as well as Belushi. Murray agreed, but only with a specific agreement, which he often did in his films. Aykroyd pitched the idea of 3 men chasing ghosts as if they were exterminators, and he even drew up a sketch of the famous Marshmallow Man before deciding that Ivan Reitman was the perfect man to direct. Reitman was informed of the concept back when Belushi was still involved, and it was originally going to take place in the future with intergalactic Ghostbusters. That sounds actually not that bad.
That's very fascinating, Timmy.
However, this idea was estimated to cost around $200 million. The original script was actually a lot more serious and really scary, but Reitman had to explain that the script was just impossible to make. He wanted to set it on Earth instead, to add more comedy and to make it as realistic as possible, and for the ridiculousness to be gradual, so the giant marshmallow man in the climax would actually be somewhat believable. They then met with Harold Ramis, who they had worked with previously, believing that he would be a decent extra hand. As soon as he read the script, he instantly joined the project.
No kidding.
The script went through various changes, but Columbia Pictures head Frank Price wasn't a big fan. He found the idea funny, but far too controversial, considering comedies back then didn't make a lot of money. The movie needed a big budget for all of the special effects, and a famous cast in order to earn popularity to gain a profit. Reitman asked for somewhere between $25 and $30 million, which Price agreed to, but it had to be released by June of 1984. Reitman later admitted that he completely made up the budget as an estimate, but they now had just 13 months to complete the film. They had no script, no effects studio, and no start date to begin filming. Other Columbia Pictures producers actually tried to stop Frank Price from backing the movie, but he soon sent them packing. Many called him out of control and completely out of his mind. However, the name The Ghostbusters was already taken by a 1970s children's show which was owned by Universal Studios. So other titles considered were Ghost Stoppers, Ghost Breakers, and Ghost Smashers. Ew!
Incredible.
Luckily, Frank Price had actually left Columbia Pictures and was now head of Universal, and he even managed to allow them to take the Ghostbusters name. What are the odds? Aykroyd, Ramis and Reitman began tweaking the script for about 2 weeks straight in Aykroyd's basement. Dan claimed that he created the funny situations and the paranormal jargon, while Ramis tweaked the jokes and dialogue to perfect them. The trio would write separately and then rewrite it all together. They originally had scenes with an asylum haunted by celebrities, as well as an illegal ghost storage facility in a New Jersey gas station. By July 1983, they had a third and nearly final draft ready. Bill Murray did meet with them and had a little bit of input on his character and the script. Ramis, however, knew Murray well enough to write most of his character on his own to suit him. They wanted Ramis' character to be the brains, while Aykroyd was the heart and Murray was the mouth. They were literally, by their own admission, trying to make them the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and the Cowardly Lion. How have I never noticed that before? That's actually pretty clever.
That's great!
Aykroyd also wanted them to have a boss, but Ramis thought they should be in control of their own destinies, so the characters changed. Aykroyd was going to be honest and enthusiastic, Murray was the cool salesman, and Ramis was intelligent but emotionless. But the hardest part to write was the story's goal, who the villain was, what their goal was, why the ghosts were manifesting, and how a giant towering marshmallow man could appear. Originally, he was going to emerge from the East River just 20 minutes in. But Reitman wasn't a fan as they wanted the movie somewhat realistic, so it was pushed back to the climax. Bill Murray was the big name that really supported the film, but he was known for not committing until the very last minute. However, he had written The Razor's Edge, and the producer of Ghostbusters agreed to fund it if he starred in this. Ernie Hudson had to go through 5 auditions before waiting a month to learn that he got the part of Winston, and originally he had a much bigger part with a whole backstory. He was so excited for the project, he agreed to do it for half the amount he normally would. However, just one night before shooting began, he was given a completely new script with a greatly reduced role. Ouch.
What an ass.
This was all because the studio wanted to expand Bill Murray's part, though Aykroyd still wanted Eddie Murphy as Winston. Murphy, however, turned down the part, so Winston was dramatically cut down. Julia Roberts tried out for the part of Dana, but it was Sigourney Weaver who got their attention, though she was known for more serious performances, which made them unsure. However, she had comedic background, having studied at Yale School of Drama, and it was actually her suggestion to become possessed by a demon dog. We all know the real demons are the cats! John Candy was offered the part of Dana's neighbour Lewis, but he didn't understand the character. He wanted to portray him with a German accent with loads of German shepherds, so they passed on him playing the part. Reitman had worked with Rick Moranis in Canada before and offered him the role. He responded just an hour later to accept. Moranis actually came up with most of the character and ad-libbed most of his nerdy mumbling dialogue. Sandra Bernhard was offered the part of the secretary but turned it down before Annie Potts got it. She literally arrived for her first day of filming and Reitman rushed her into the current scene. She quickly had to change out of her normal clothes, borrowed a pair of glasses and did the scene right then and there. Filming began in New York City on October the 28th, 1983, and Bill Murray was brought to the set, but the director still wasn't sure if he had even read the script. Reitman was working with so many comedians that he actually encouraged them all to improvise, allowing multiple takes so they can stick to the script in some and improvise in others, to later keep whichever works. They wrapped up filming in New York shortly before Christmas that year, but shooting in that city was a nightmare. To film in Dana's apartment, it was at Central Park West, and they had to close down several adjacent streets during rush hour, which caused a big problem with traffic. There was a traffic jam all the way to Brooklyn. A police officer drew his gun on a taxi driver who was refusing passengers. Another officer pulled a driver through his limo window, and many members of the public wanted to know what was the cause. And the producers blamed Francis Ford Coppola for making The Cotton Club.
Oh, thank you.
After the new year, filming relocated to Los Angeles before wrapping up, but the movie needed to be ready by June the 8th, 1984, so Reitman was having to edit the film as they were shooting it so many times, they could only do a few takes to speed things along. Because there were so many heavy special effects scenes which had to be storyboarded and filmed in advance, there was no possibility of going back and shooting them again or changing anything. The movie was screened for test audiences on February the 3rd, 1984 with unfinished special effects, just to see if the comedy was working. Reitman was still unsure if people would accept the ridiculous Marshmallow Man ending. However, just in the opening scene alone, he knew that the film was going to work. They reacted with fear, laughs, and applause all at the same time, which also happened for the Marshmallow Man scene. Reitman knew he wouldn't have to shoot any of it again. However, the movie was then screened for people within the film industry who weren't particularly big fans. The Ghostbusters producers would laugh while the rest sat deadpan, expecting complete failure. They called it a complete mistake and expected bankruptcy. Ghostbusters premiered on June the 7th, 1984 in Westwood, California and was #1 that weekend, even beating Gremlins and Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. The movie went on to gross an insane $295.7 million, breaking the studio's own record. It was the second highest grossing movie that year, only behind Beverly Hills Cop, ironically starring Eddie Murphy, but it became the highest grossing comedy in history, before again being beaten by Beverly Hills Cop. When adjusted for inflation, Ghostbusters is the 32nd highest grossing movie ever made. And of course, it was a historical piece of cinema that was universally adored. Ghostbusters went on to be nominated for 2 Academy Awards for Best Original Song and, yeah, you know I'm gonna play it right now. Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters! And Best Visual Effects, but sadly won neither. It was also nominated for 3 Golden Globes for Best Musical or Comedy Motion Picture, Best Actor for Bill Murray and Best Original Song, though the iconic track did win a BAFTA for Best Original Song, and it won the Best Fantasy Film at the 12th Annual Saturn Awards. People also tried to overanalyze the film to find metaphors of Republican or libertarian ideologies. Because there always has to be a hidden meaning apparently. Just stop it, it's Ghostbusters! The movie was an insane hit, a worldwide phenomenon. It was one of the first blockbusters, it was one of the first films to really mix comedy, science fiction, horror and thrills. It caused spin-offs, sold merchandise, and it even blew up possibilities for actors involved. Before Ghostbusters, it was still unheard of to cast television actors for the big screen. But thanks to its success starring many Saturday Night Live stars, everything changed. It's noted as one of the greatest and most impactful movies in history. Empire listed it as the 68th best film ever, the American Film Institute picked it as the 28th greatest comedy, Channel 4 called it the 28th greatest family film, and the famous line,
"Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria,"
was picked by Premiere as the 68th greatest quote in movie history, and the famous line,
"Well, there's something you don't see every day,"
as the 19th, and it's forever cemented in their record books. I mean, it's Ghostbusters! Do you seriously expect me to sit here and trash it? Look, right, everyone loves Ghostbusters. I'm not here to just ruin their fun. Okay, that does sound like something I would normally do, but no, it's Ghostbusters! I'm not a monster!
Yeah, I know that.
The film immediately begins with a creepy-ass library scene, but I just feel for this woman who now has to reorganize all of these files. But who cares? Let's hear the song again.
If there's something strange in the neighborhood, who you gonna call? Ghostbusters!
And right off the bat, Bill Murray basically plays a creepy, horny pervert. He's testing these two out for psychic powers despite being a non-believer, and he tells the guy that every single one he guesses is wrong, while he tells the woman she gets them all right, because he wants to wet his Venkman. But Murray is highly entertaining as he tries to freak out the librarian despite not believing in the paranormal himself.
This is hot, Ray.
Symmetrical book stacking, just like the Philadelphia Man's Turbulence of 1947.
You're right, no human being would stack books like this.
I love him. He's basically Shane from BuzzFeed Unsolved.
Here's the thing, there's so many different noises going on at once here. And then, what, there's a ghost whisper somewhere in this little moment? Yeah. And what does it say? It just goes... That's the message from the great beyond. Well, God said, go back to Earth. You're not done yet. I want you to tell them something. Oh, what do you want me to tell them?
And this scene, I can't even lie, it scared the out of me as a kid. It's weird that the movie that is primarily a comedy has some genuinely frightening moments. This is horrifying! But it is weird that Murray doesn't even seem too surprised when he sees an actual ghost. His entire belief system has been destroyed and he's not even fazed!
Do exactly as I say. Get ready. Ready?
Get her!
And then it turns funny. The characters are so much fun to watch, man. They find a new office, but Egon isn't a big fan and lists all of the flaws, but Aykroyd makes it so funny straight after. These guys have unreal chemistry. I don't really think Rick Moranis is a truly underrated actor. Most of his scenes are improvised and he rambles incoherent nonsense, but he's fantastic at it. Sigourney Weaver starts to get haunted and it is so creepy. Her eggs boil themselves and... then a giant world and a demon dog is inside her fridge. They have such tiny jokes that work too. Weaver heads to their office for help and Aykroyd just seems so surprised that they actually have a customer.
I don't have an appointment. I'd like to talk to someone, please.
I'm Peter Venkman.
I'm here to perv and creep on you. But it's okay because he's a hilarious pervert as he checks out her home and there's no signs of any poltergeist activity.
Oh my God. Look at all the junk food.
Oh, God damn it. Look, this wasn't...
You actually eat this
Look,
stuff?
this...
Okay, I have to give Bill Murray credit. He steals the whole show.
I am madly in love with you.
Don't believe this.
What? Already? Oh my god, he's such a creep! No, I'll take it back. It's his first customer and he's already sexually harassing her.
This is preposterous.
But it is pretty badass as they suit up and head to their first call. I just love how they promise some hotel manager that they'll be discreet on the job, and then they show up in these outfits with full-on proton packs in that car. First sign of movement and they just shoot. Typical Americans. But there he is, the legend that is Slimer. Weirdly, Aykroyd claimed that this guy is the ghost of John Belushi, and him eating all of the food is that scene from Animal House. Nice tribute.
I see.
I just love how emotionless Egon is in this. Harold Ramis deliberately made sure to never smile at any point, but he scans and pokes a random guy to check if he's a ghost. And then Slimer attacks Murray. So much is happening, but it's so fun and charming. Then they shoot down a damn chandelier as they have to explain the famous rule.
There's something very important I forgot to tell you.
What?
Don't cross the streams.
But it is such an iconic moment as they capture Slimer. And it's so damn charming as the group starts to grow in popularity. Until Dan Aykroyd gets blown by a ghost. No, this really happened. This scene went over your head as a kid, didn't it? Fun fact, this was actually part of a cutscene. There was going to be a subplot where Dan Aykroyd actually gets into a relationship with a ghost. I wonder how that would work.
It says you're a dead
And only now does Ernie Hudson appear. He has no qualifications, no knowledge in the area of which they are working on, and is only applying for the money.
If there's a steady paycheck in it, I'll believe anything you say.
Sounds like why he did God's Not Dead too. But Murray again continues to harass Sigourney Weaver instead of sorting out their case. Dude, leave her alone! You're making your group look bad. This is terrible business.
So who the hell is that?
He's all over the news, but he doesn't know who he is. By the way, how creepy is it as Zool breaks out of this statue? I am telling you, this comedy's got balls! It knows the balance. Originally, this was aimed towards adults, and the cast and crew were amazed how big a hit it was with kids, and I'm not surprised! Look at it! And then Weaver is being stalked by a smoke machine. Okay, this is creepy as hell. Jesus Christ, bro! Okay, I just pooped a little. Again. Should really wash these. But the dog is now in Rick Moranis' apartment, and alright, these effects really haven't aged well. I can't even say for its time they look pretty good. This was the 80s! This was The Fly! Back to the Future! Somehow they still won awards, but look at it! Especially the exterior shots. This is so dated. But it is hilarious how everyone in the restaurant just ignores his pleas for help. But how the hell do they not see the damn monster? It is funny though how Murray just casually walks past all of the chaos and is so deadpan about everything. Does nothing affect this dude? But I hate to admit it, psychotic possessed Sigourney Weaver is kinda hot.
Are you the keymaster?
Damn, girl. Whew.
Not that I know of.
Okay, that was funny. But look, this is almost at the hour mark. Murray knows that ghosts are real, he knows who Zool is at this point, and he still isn't the least bit freaked out by the fact that a satanic demon is now trying to seduce him.
There is no demon, only Zool.
Jesus. Meanwhile, Moranis somehow didn't get eaten and is also possessed. He's basically Renfield from Dracula now. Oh, and then he talks to a horse. Okay. But it's okay because Murray managed to knock out Sigourney with some Thorazine. This actually got a lot of backlash in the years to follow because this particular drug is often used to rape women. And people believe that this was the aftermath of such an implication. However, back in 1984, it was used as a safe and effective way of bringing people back down from bad trips. So no, there's no rape. Even though Murray is a creepy ass in this, maybe he did rape her, who knows? My bigger question is, would a drug really work on a demon? So the bad guy claims they violate some safety plans and pulls the plug on their ghost capturing machine, leading to all the spirits being unleashed back into the city, which is such an awesome moment. It's all paced perfectly, so this is just built up really well, and now the ghosts are attacking on a grander scale. But hey, Rick gets to make out with Sigourney Weaver, good for him!
Everything was fine with our system until the power grid was shut off by Dickless here.
They caused an explosion.
Is this true? Yes, it's true. This man has no dick.
Okay, this may be Bill Murray's greatest performance. He's amazing in this. But despite the legal issues, the mayor actually believes the Ghostbusters and allows them to try to save the city. No, I'm not buying this. There is no reason for him to believe these guys. They've got a crap load of safety precautions they've ignored, and one of them has been a sexual pervert the entire time. But as the third act kicks in, they suit up in front of everyone and head to the building. This is awesome. You know shit's about to kick off.
Hey, where do these stairs go? They go up.
God damn it, Bill! Weaver and Moranis turn into Zool dogs, and again, the effects are cheesy and dated, but still somewhat charming.
It's Gozer. I thought Gozer was a man. It's whatever it wants to be.
Well, whatever it is, it's got to get by us.
Right.
Go get her, Ray.
Who cares? This is awesome!
Good evening. As a duly designated representative of the city, county, and state of New York, I order you to cease any and all supernatural activity and return forthwith to your place of origin or to the nearest convenient parallel dimension.
This is genius! I love it! Oh, come on. There is no way the crowd is seeing them from that distance.
Whatever we think of, if we think of J. Edgar Hoover will appear and destroy us, okay? So empty your heads.
Surely because you literally just said J. Edgar Hoover, now everyone's thinking of him. Even for a second, it's now in your head because you said the name, so therefore he should be the one that appears. But he doesn't. The Marshmallow Man is so random, it's hilarious. It's ridiculous and absurd, but it's amazing. He even climbs the damn building like King Kong. And they decide to cross the streams to finish it off. This is epic. They literally prepare for death. They are unsure if this will actually cause the apocalypse or save everyone, but they do it anyway. Everything is at stake and it is so badass. Ew! I guess Moranis and Weaver got a little bit carried away. But yay, Weaver survived! Happy ending! Woo! Oh, Rick Moranis survived too. Yay, I guess. And Weaver finally gets with Bill Murray like we all wanted. Until the sequel. Ghostbusters is a masterpiece, and after all of these years, it still holds up. It's still incredible. But it wasn't all wine and roses after it came out. After release, Ray Parker Jr.'s famous Ghostbusters song hit #1 and remained there for 3 weeks. It's believed the song alone brought in about $20 million to the movie's success. The music video on MTV hit #1 and several actors appeared completely unpaid. However, Huey Lewis sued Ray Parker Jr. for plagiarism, believing he had copied his melody, specifically the bass line from his 1983 song I Want a New Drug. The case was settled out of court the next year. However, it would continue when the makers of Casper the Friendly Ghost also sued them for $50 million and wanted every copy of the movie to be destroyed, believing that the iconic Ghostbusters logo was based on their character of Fatso, but the lawsuit failed. The movie blew up more than anyone could have ever imagined. So much so, star Bill Murray actually quit acting for 4 years. He admitted it was his biggest accomplishment, but it was linked to his aforementioned project The Razor's Edge, which flopped. He quit making movies until 1988 when he did Scrooge. Ivan Reitman did confess that he felt Ghostbusters wasn't getting the respect it deserved, and it wasn't being taken seriously anymore, and just dismissed as just another action comedy. Ernie Hudson was proud of his work on the film, but remained bitter of his character being reduced so much in favour of Murray. He did admit that Ghostbusters didn't catapult his career as well as he had hoped, and believes it actually cost him roles rather than gained. He ended up working more on television than in films. He admitted he loved doing it and he loved the experience, but his character was just kind of there and didn't do a whole lot. He was thankful for the opportunity, but he considers it a love-hate experience. When the film came out, Hudson's home address even got leaked, and fans would swarm to his home for autographs, causing him to move. Furthermore, William Atherton played the bad guy, and due to the cast being encouraged to improvise, Murray's funny line from earlier,
"This man has no dick,"
wasn't actually scripted. For years, Atherton was then called Dickless on the streets, which didn't really sit well with him. He would often get jumped and attacked in bars, and he truly became completely hated, leaving more than a bad taste in his mouth when it comes to the memory of Ghostbusters.
Everybody getting this so far?
Just 2 years later, there was an animated television series that ran for 140 episodes over the course of 6 years, followed by several comic books. Ghostbusters 2 then came out in 1989, though it failed to deliver as well as the original, financially and critically. Bill Murray was reluctant to star in it as the first one was so good, and he was even unhappy with the second installment. A sequel to the animated series followed in 1997, but over the years Dan Aykroyd tried his best to develop a third film. A novel was planned in 2004 called Ghostbusters The Return, though the publisher went out of business and this never materialised. Ghostbusters the video game came out set 2 years after Ghostbusters 2, which was really well received, and Aykroyd considered this to be what the third movie would have been like. Sadly, in 2014, writer and actor Harold Ramis passed away, and as a result, Ivan Reitman refused to direct a possible third movie. He felt like the creative control he, Ramis, Aykroyd and Murray had of the franchise was holding it back, and thought they should sell the rights, but he had to convince Bill Murray. However, Reitman and Aykroyd made their own production company to expand the series, which led to an all-female reboot in 2016, which, yeah, it really wasn't a big hit. You might have heard about it. It bombed at the box office and fans slaughtered it. So not long after, a direct sequel, finally, a Ghostbusters 3 was announced, with Reitman's son Jason directing. But the original is a classic. It has more quotables than you can count. The characters are all so memorable. The theme song is unforgettable. The logo is solidified in everybody's minds. It's hilarious, scary, eerie, creepy, dramatic. The movie has it all. Ghostbusters is one of the greatest movies ever made, and definitely belongs in this book. "200 movies. Between these four walls, surrounded by these demons. Well, you know what? It's Halloween, and I'm gonna get rid of these demons! Let's put an end to this! What do you want? Come on, you've tormented me for this long. What do you want? Yeah? It's gonna take more than that. Give me the best you've got.
Bustin' makes me feel good.
No!
I'll send you the bill.
It's over.
I feel the virus as it reaches me. I feel the spread as it takes hold. Why can't I fight this ache that's deep inside as it consumes my soul? Now as it spreads, it's suffocating me. I try resisting as it grows. Is it real? Is there a chance to heal? I guess nobody knows, but I will fight through the virus, even if I do with dread. So I will fight through the virus and slow its
Any care is lost in me. All CV seems to do is hide. It's all he's got. I hope that Rob gets shot. I wanna see him die.
'Cause he is prone to the virus. Some people cannot use their head, so he will fight through the virus and slow its.
Will this put CV in danger? Has my friend become a stranger? Is Venom gone once and for all?
What if Venom can't complete it?
We should be there when he needs it. Guess this final move is ours to call.
We'll stick with him and we'll be there through thick and thin. So we will fight through the virus.
I'm alone as I post these reviews. I guess no one can take the task.
What can't we face?
I'll carry on and show the world I'm strong and hide behind the mask.
Hope this comes out looking better.
Better get his crap together.
Every moment just appears to drag.
His crap channel should be ending.
I'm just here to sing this segment.
What's it going to take to treat this plague?
These painful days are finally ending in a haze,
And we are caught in the virus. With hope that there's light ahead, and we will fight through the virus and slow its spread. And slow its spread. And slow its spread. Slow its spread.
Rob, I think it's time.
I think you've done enough. Can you just leave?
I think you've learned your lesson. Enough is enough.
What?
We have now returned to 2025.
I wear glasses now?
Make the most of your second chance.
Hello? Anyone?